Hi, this is Cesar DeCall Jr. I'm also known as the Voodoo Monkey. Welcome to Digital Sculpting with Masks. So here's a head canvas that I've downloaded off of Zebra Central. As you can see, I'm painting on it using the masking function. I'm painting in the recessed areas because I'm going to invert the mask and then take this into move and move those areas in. Once I'm happy with that, I'll go back into the draw function and use the inflate along with the shortcuts or hotkeys, Shift and Alt for smoothing and Z sub to refine the shape until I'm happy with it. Let me just take a minute here to apologize about all the rotating. I'm afraid that's a byproduct of my work habits. I do tend to spin my sculpture around a lot so that I can see it from every angle. I will do better next time. Once again, using the masking function, I paint in the recess areas of the nasolabial folds, jowls, jawline, orbital sockets, invert the mask, and then go into move, and move those areas in. Once I'm happy, go back into draw, remember to clear your mask, and then smooth out those areas. This is going to get repetitive, so just note that I'm using this back and forth workflow to define the anatomy of the head. So here I am defining some of the bone structure, or the recessed areas anyways. And I'll move these in, but in this case I'm not going to move the entire thing. I really just want to kind of crease some of the edges. So you can see that I spent most of my time doing that and then just refining, and I'm leaving some of that crispness behind because I want the boniness of the skull underneath to show through. I want to get that feeling of bone just underneath the skin. And then now I'm back in draw and I'm using the inflate to bring out some of the bony masses. So here I'm laying down the tracks or the roadmap for where I want my definition to be in the eye bags. So same methodology, I'm going to invert the mask, go into move and move these back, and then I'm going to go back into draw and I'm going to affect them. So I'm not clearing the mask here though. I want to retain the crispness in between. So now I'm basically inflating the in-betweens, and then I'm going to smooth this, and I'm going to still keep the mask on. Right there, you see I'm smoothing it with the mask still on. A little bit of a time lapse there, and I basically removed the mask and did a little bit more smoothing, and voila, there you have it, eye bags. This is where using masks becomes a whole lot of fun. I mean, here I am defining some more wrinkles on the face. In fact, I would say this is the pain-free way. There's no nudging or pushing or pinching, or I'm just drawing them on. All in all, I'd say this head took about 25 minutes to do. I'm not saying that to impress anybody, but maybe to impress upon you that this is an extremely efficient way to quickly form your head and get some of the major forms and details of anatomy into your sculpture in a very efficient way and method. And then you can go in and refine and do a lot of your secondary forms and your extreme surface detailing. So here you can see that I've inverted the mask back to its original state. I haven't cleared the mask, and I'm basically using the inflate to paint in between and give some volume, peaks and valleys to the wrinkles. You can see I'm kind of being heavy-handed and I'm not being very gentle. This is by choice. What I want to do is get some of that irregularness, the fleshiness that exists on people's faces, and a lot of the random chaos. The happy accidents. So here I am smoothing. The mask is still on. If you're wondering why you can't see the black lines of the mask, is because I've basically clicked off View Mask. And in a second here, I'm going to clear the mask and you'll see what a big difference it makes. So there I've cleared the mask. And you can see that now when I smooth, it has a drastic effect on the wrinkles themselves. What I'm trying to do with the smoothing is not to erase the forms, but to get them to melt into each other. So here I'm starting to affect the overall shape of the ear. I'm basically in move. And now I'm going to use masks to define the complexity of the ear structure. This whole approach is about hitting your sculpture with a sledgehammer and not allowing time to steal your idea away from you. The thing is, as an artist, I'm always fighting against the time monster. Time can eat up an amazing amount of my creative spark or artistic juice. Using the inflate and Z sub, and back to move. In this case, I'm using the mask as a holding element so that I can pull the geometry over itself. Masks are so powerful, they're absolutely fantastic. I mean, you can do anything with them. But having said that, they're also very simplistic. So as long as you have a game plan and you have an understanding of what you want to achieve, you're going to be able to achieve it much faster and thus be more efficient. So just notice that I'm basically taking this simple workflow of going back and forth between draw and move. When I'm in draw, I'll paint my masks, and then when I'm happy with it, I'll go into move, generally invert my mask, move those areas in, go back to draw, clear my mask, and then affect it using inflate or smooth or Z sub until I'm happy with the shape. Again, using the mask as a holding element, I want to close the lips here. So I basically mask that area off and pull the upper lip down. Some last minute proportion changes and I've got a head that's ready for surface detailing. Well, thank you very much for watching. Good luck with your digital sculpting using masks, and happy pixeling.